Hello everyone, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back today with our Wednesday night favorites, and this week we're doing a ranking. Yes, a rare event for me, but I decided I wanted to do this one now that I have the last of the CDs, and I'm really familiar with this group quite a bit. I listened to them a lot when I was younger. Really like their music. And it's ironic that the first album I ever owned by them is probably my least favorite. So today we're going to be doing the ranking of the Police studio albums. Nothing else, no compilations, no live stuff, just their 5 studio albums. It's unfortunate they only had 5 too, because they really had some good stuff. So we'll do this from the ordinary way I normally do it, which is from my least favorite, or my number 5, my last favorite of them, all the way up to my favorite, or worst to first, if you prefer. So we'll and by no means are any of these bad albums. I think these albums are really strong. All of their discography is very good. And ironically, this was the first one I owned, so I know I like them, because even though this is the least favorite of them, it's still really good, and it was my first one, so I kept coming back. So you're talking about Ghost in the Machine by the Police. Lots of good tracks on here. Spirit in the Material World, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, Invisible Sun, the first 3 tracks, all really good. There's some other stuff, some deeper cuts, Too Much Information, Darkness, Hungry for You. Those are all, and Demolition Man, all pretty solid songs. This album, of course, was released, I believe, in 83, but just let me check here, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't even see it. Yeah, it looks like they're not going to tell us. Yeah, it's not going to tell me. That's okay. It's still a really solid album. Ghost in the Machine coming in at number 5. So the next album up, I think is a solid album. Again, it's not going to tell me when. Oh, this was the 83, so I think Ghost in the Machine preceded this album, Synchronicity, which I think is a really good album. I like, of course, the cover on it. It's so I like all of the Police covers. This one maybe a little more than most. It's got like where am I? Synchronicity 2, of course, Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, Wrapped Around Your Finger. These are all well-known tracks that got a lot of radio play. I never really listened to this album for the deep cuts much. I like those tunes I just said quite a bit. So it comes in at number 4. Probably could be a little higher. If I got more into the deep cuts, it probably would be. Anyway, solid album. So number 3 sometimes has been higher, sometimes has been as high as number 1. But I think I've listened to it quite a bit. I like the album cover quite a bit. I just think it's maybe a little more burned out than some of the other albums, and that's probably because I had it on a cassette, and when I had it on cassette, I used to play it a lot. So we're talking about Zenyatta Mondatta. This, I believe, is their 3rd studio album, released in 82, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I'm wrong. Released in 1980. So yeah, they go back a little further than I thought. Okay. So Don't Stand So Close to Me. When the World Is Running Down, You Make the Best of What's Still Around. That's a really good song. Canary in a Coal Mine, great. Bombs Away, I love that song. Do-do-do-do, da-da-da-da, great song. The Other Way of Stopping, I like that a lot. So this album is good. It's a lot of its radio stuff is really good, but a lot of the deep cuts are not bad as well. So for number 3, you got the Police, Zenyatta Mondatta. So number 2 is actually number 1, released in 1978. Orlando's D'Amour, their debut album, solid album. I mean, it has the absolute, probably the best Police song, Roxanne, or the most famous if it's not the best one. Can't Stand to Lose You, another really great track. Born in the 50s, another great tune. Yeah, just a lot of stuff in here. It's maybe not as good an album as Zenyatta Mondatta, but I never owned it originally. I never got it. This is my first copy of it. Been listening to it a lot. Most of the stuff I've heard before, so it probably has a little bit more height to it. Like coming in at second here, probably has a little bit more strength because it's not as burned out. That's the only reason. But you know, you got to interchange them fairly regularly. Number one, this is going to be this album for sure. Regatta de Blanc. It's been my number one most of the time in the history of them. Another good album cover, of course. Another well orchestrated album. You know, I've done a video on this album. If you want to watch it, that's fine. Message in the Bottle, It's All Right for You, Bring on the Night, Walking on the Moon, On Any Other Day, The Bed's Too Big Without You, Does Everyone Stare, No Time, This Time. Like every track is great. The deep cuts are as good as the main songs, Message in the Bottle and Walking on the Moon, which are just absolute classics. Yeah, this is a great album. Definitely, if you gotta buy a Police album and you're not sure which one's the first one, I would choose this one just because the strength of the deep cuts are so good on this album. So there you have it. This is my Police ranking of the Police albums. I'm just gonna reiterate them. Go from top to bottom this time. So we got coming in at number 1, Regatta de Blanc. Coming in at number 2, Orlando's d'Amore. Coming in at number 3, Zenyatta Mondatta. Coming in at number 4, Synchronicity. Sorry, that's not really a good shot of it. So bring it over here a little bit there. And maybe I'm back here. You can't really see the writing on this one too well. I think it's because of the white background. There you go. And then at number 5, Ghost in the Machine. Pretty solid album. Not too many people will dislike this. It was not my favorite Police album, but certainly is still a good album. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of ranking the albums on my Wednesday night favorites. If you did, please like and subscribe. And we'll be back next week with another one. Yes, in case people didn't know, I'm planning on doing some stuff next week too. The trip was canceled. I canceled the trip for a couple of reasons, so I will be doing some stuff. I'm just not sure. It's not going to be a regular type week. It may be a little bit odd because I'm going to be in a different location as I'm moving, so there may not be a setup of this magnitude behind you, but we will still try to do the videos if we can. So I hope that you have a good week and enjoy this video, and please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and we'll be back again. Take care.